Hello stranded survivors, I'm Dominus and welcome to our very first devlog. We're here to talk about what's new in the currently publicly available demo of All Will Fall. We got so much feedback and suggestions from you during the playtest. While we can't solve all of them at once, we're going to show you which things we've prioritized for the demo. We knew that workforce assignment system would eventually need an improvement. It works well for production buildings, where you want each social group to directly work there, but when you have many small resource piles lying around, you don't need that kind of a micromanagement. You want to just gather those up. Now that we're feeling confident in our gameplay direction of scavenging the long-lost world for resources and building space, production buildings can remain micromanageable and complex, while the workforce interactions with the resource piles can be simplified. We're making resource gathering as easy as just one mouse click. Players mark any resource and have the citizens gather that if the path is clear. This change also lets us design more interesting maps. Some piles can be slow to gather and act as blockers, while others are easily gatherable and act as a shiny reward for solving the puzzle of reaching them. Since now most of the environment can be gathered as a resource pile, if you are not careful enough, you could pull out some planks out of the floor and collapse some other buildings. Some things in the environment can also be exploded. These gathering changes affect a lot of parts of the game, not just basic resource income, but also what you can do with trains and boats. Boats are finally acting like real boats. They are now an integral part of the city. Previously, they never costed any resources, nor required any workforce operate, so they needed to become more integrated in the gameplay and expand the player's decision space. Previously, docks required sailors to be assigned to them, and now boats are the ones with workplace sailor slots, and docks become passive buildings. This required some work, but it brings a lot of improvements. Docks can now be cheaper and easier to build, and will no longer require you to reassign workforce or reposition docks when the water level changes. You can just easily build a new one. You will also no longer need to guess how many sailors a dock needs to operate. Boats can become more accessible to players as their operation costs are now directly tied to having more sailors assigned to them. While previously, boats were super vehicles, which didn't require any kind of operating people. They are no longer operated by ghosts, but by real captains, which will have to get on and off the boats, making the logistics matter more. This will also allow us having different boats with different abilities, requirements, and also having different kinds of docks. Sorry, no pirate ships for now. And finally, all of these boat improvements nicely tie in with the resource gathering mechanics that we've introduced earlier. They will simply gather the resources, and you won't have to assign them to the floating piles.
Moving on to Nightcycle improvements. While this issue wasn't the most voted, we would like to use it as an example to show you how we approach your feedback and how we try to solve multiple problems with one solution. A lot of you pointed out that the current Nightcycle offers nothing meaningful in terms of gameplay and is mostly fast-forwarded. A basic solution would be just to add a skip button to get to the more interesting part of the game. But we see a real issue as a lack of engaging activities, and it is our job to make this part of the game feel meaningful and interesting. This is why we are introducing a new leisure system, which also changes how leisure works in our game. By moving leisure to night hours, we hope to improve two things at once: dead time during the night and the management of leisure needs. To implement this system, we had to rework a few things. Firstly, we changed how leisure time is scheduled. Previously, leisure time was taken from work hours while sleep remained fixed. Now, citizens can enjoy leisure without sacrificing long work hours, which keeps the city alive at night, though they do sleep a little bit less. Previously, citizens couldn't properly sit on benches, they would just hover awkwardly near them. We had to revise how path nodes are generated for certain buildings to fix this. On top of this, we had to add a separate visitor type entrance to buildings. When designing buildings for leisure, we split them into two types: passive, like benches and fireplaces, and active, like shops and bars. One issue with active buildings was figuring out the staffing. Would some citizens have to work at night, missing out on leisure while serving others? Well, we decided against this, at least for now. Instead, citizens working during the day prepare servings which later get used during the night while citizens enter buildings through visitor-type entrances. This way, no one is left out from the fun. So, instead of having empty and silent streets at night, your people will move around and enjoy different leisure activities that will light up your city and make it more lively. Just keep an eye out for potential bar fights.
These were several major improvements that we have wanted to do for a long time, and we'll continue to put out updates with performance improvements, UX improvements, and other experiments that we come up with during the development. And we want to thank our players for amazing feedback, suggestions, and responses we've received for the demo. Make sure you follow us on social media and join our Discord, and as well, you will get all of the newest information about the game. Happy building!